Hi everyone, my name is Mackenzie, and I feel like to understand my journey as an educator, I want to start where I grew up. I grew up in a small area of Minford, Ohio. It's like 30 minutes from Shawnee's campus. And I grew up on like a little, I would call it like a little farm. So academics were really important to us as like for my mom. My dad, on the other hand, probably he wasn't really a school person. He could have probably cared less. But my mom, she played really big into our educational experiences. She always made it come first, and like my dad, he was more into caring about our sports, and I was a multi-sport athlete, and my dad never missed a thing. But my mom always told me that sports will end one day and all you will have is your education and helping others, such as kids or grandkids, learn through education. And that's why I think there is a strong emphasis on education as a main pathway to success. Throughout my schooling, such as high school, middle school, I didn't really, I don't really remember much from kindergarten, middle, or elementary school. But I think that I experienced both inclusion and marginalization through my learning. These experiences, I feel like, shaped who I am and how I represent myself as an educator. It shaped the perceptions that I have and the role of diversity that I want to be able to give my students. These factors include like language, their abilities, because all students have different abilities. No student is the same. Sexual orientation, that's really big right now, and it really influenced my educational and academic journey. Such as, for an example, I can recall I had a teacher who really fostered an inclusive environment, and it really impacted how I feel now, like looking back on that. It was actually just in high school, so about 6 years ago, that I experienced this, and it really didn't click until I got into like a class like this one that really shared what happens when you get into these different environments, and it really gave me a lesson, like a life lesson. Like, even though I didn't know it was happening then, now that I look back at it, it really it turned it into like a life lesson. As I move forward in a classroom, my goal is to create a classroom that fosters inclusivity, equity, or equality, and critical thinking, because I think those three are the most important qualities to have for a classroom, as it will touch on every student. I see myself in the future providing, because I'm not a teacher, I'm a substitute, but I try to implement this now. I see myself trying to provide a learning environment where students feel valued regardless of their race, gender, social class, because that's really big too right now, and other aspects. My dream would be to create a space where students feel that they are encouraged to embrace who they are, their diversity, and I want to challenge inequalities. Like, I want to make everybody feel like they are one. I want to integrate multicultural education. I felt like even in college when I took a multicultural education class, I can't believe how important I thought it was. So that's why I've enjoyed this class. I want to implement culturally responsive teaching. And I can do that by designing lessons that reflect different narratives, and applying discussions that encourage their awareness to these different diversities and social issues. I want to touch on those so that everybody knows that just because one thing happens doesn't mean they're different or this can lead to this. No, everybody shapes themselves. I want my students to not only learn about different cultures, but also analyze societal structures. There's so many different, like, just since being an adult and coming out of, like, my parents' shell, not that I was really in a shell, but it gives you that experience that everyone is different. Nobody's the same, but everyone can come together to join in times of grief, in different times. Everyone can come together, and regardless of their problems, regardless of their societal differences, diversity, they can all come together and become one. Reflecting on myself so far as like an educator, as a substitute teacher, I want to say that I've sort of been actively, which I can't really make too big of an impact, as you know, I'm a substitute teacher. Things change every day between the classroom, school that I'm in, but I want to work toward my vision of a classroom where everything's equality, and I feel like whenever I've done long-term sub positions, I feel like I have reached that. In the classroom that I'm in right now, I feel like I have made an impact in these students' lives, and I have engaged in their coursework as well. Even though I'm not 100% sure on it, we have actively engaged. We've had discussions. We've talked about different cultural societies and how food, like right now I'm a culinary, how they can differ between different cultures, different societies, beliefs, and what each, and they're all similar. They really are. I want to say that that's one way that I have incorporated it into these students. Instead of it just being a recipe they make, I want them to look into the originality, where it came from, why it originated here, so that they can all learn about these different cultures, learn why it came about, where it came about. But I want to try to continue to seek these opportunities to challenge students' assumptions. I want them to have the opportunity to learn from diverse communities. And honestly, I feel like here at where I'm subbing, we have kids from all different schools. So like, we have different cultures, we have different communities. I mean, because every school's in a different community. And I want them to know that this sort of can lead to a multicultural education, and that they're living in it. Whereas those in a certain school district may, it's a certain district. I mean, you all kind of know each other. You've been together with each other your entire school career, whereas these are juniors and seniors that are just meeting each other. They're coming together. They're learning about each other, learning about different communities, cultures, different diversities. And I just want everyone to understand that I want to be committed to destroying barriers between education and advocating for policies to promote diversity and inclusion, because it is important. We as a nation will not make it if we do not understand each other. I want to say that my journey is still ongoing, and I want to take responsibility of being one of those people that transform as an educator, and transform their classroom, transform the school district even. I would love to be a part of that. Thank you for listening. Bye, everyone.